So it's fairly obvious to everybody that things are getting worse, and politics is basically geared up to stop you from trying to improve it, or even to notice that there's anything wrong in the first place.
Yeah.
This is what inspired me to take a look at this topic. This was a sort of heartbreaking, heartfelt interview with a World War II soldier. As we come up to Remembrance Sunday, and it's worth just playing the first sort of whatever it is. I know where we get to the first minute or so of this.
What does Remembrance Sunday mean for you? What is your message?
My message is, I can see in my mind's eye those rows and rows of white stones of all the hundreds of my friends and everybody else that gave their lives for what? The country of today. No, I'm sorry. The sacrifice wasn't worth the result that it is now.
Oh, well, I'm sorry.
What do you mean by that, though?
There we go, straight in there.
Adil Ray. There's an interesting story that Konstantin Kisin tells about Adil Ray, because he a few years ago he was the only sort of non-leftist on a panel on Good Morning Britain talking about English identity. And Adil Ray, apparently, after they finished the panel, came off the stage and said to him, wasn't it great that we didn't have any white British people on? And Konstantin was just like, why would you say that? And, I mean, he didn't say that to him, but he was just shocked. And so Adil Ray seems to be, like, just knowingly subversive.
Yes. But, I mean, everybody knows what that old boy is talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody knows. And straight away, what do you mean by that?
Yeah. But notice the woman next to him just like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. You don't care.
No.
You know, this guy's heartbroken over this. Like, his friends died for the integrity of the country, and look at the state of it.
Mm. Yeah, and look, it's perfectly obvious what is going on. And, you know, as Fraz says here, we literally have a fix everything button that nobody wants to use. Now, this is a meme that I'm sure everybody has probably seen at this point, or you will be seeing more. A lot of people are mentioning the fix everything button, and the idea is basically this: there is a button, and if you press it, you fix everything, but the entire narrative is don't press the button. You know, you can't press the switch. There is no switch. Yeah, people say you shouldn't press the switch, and maybe don't. It isn't as easy. But you know the thing I'm talking about.
I read all of this in Michael Gove's voice.
Mm.
It's simply not possible to press the switch.
But what happens if you actually did?
I mean, we might fix everything.
Well, yes, but what does the switch do? And can you just press it?
There are going to be screeches about human rights.
The global south isn't going to be happy.
Yeah,
but
Adil Ray will cry.
Yeah, but now you're doing the bit around the edge. You can do it.
There's going to be a lot of foreign nationals who are nationalists for their own country who are going to be very upset about.
They're going to be sent back to their own countries.
Yes. But what does the button actually do? So, I'll try and keep an eye on the comments scrolling past, and chaps chip in as well. But there's a number of things that it could actually do, and I've got a little list, and please do everybody add on to it.
Well, it's going to raise people's wages. It's going to make the streets safer. It's going to make houses cheaper. It's going to make politics centred back on the white British population of the country.
Right.
It's going to make schools easier to access for your children. It's going to
roads are going to be less busy.
NHS appointments are going to be actually possible now. You're not going to be sat dying of cancer on a waiting list. There are just, I mean, it's almost infinite.
You're saying that it does remigration. Might throw themselves out of windows, though.
Yes, that's true. But the thing is, I reckon it'd improve the GDP. I'm not even joking. And it will at least improve GDP per capita.
Yes. So you're saying it does remigration?
There's a lot of things that pressing the switch does.
Yes.
Yeah. That is one of them.
Yeah. That's one of them. I mean, I've actually got very first thing on my list is the most obvious one for me is you just execute violent criminals.
Yep.
You just do it.
Yep. The streets become safer. The prisons population goes down. Like the money we spend on all of this goes down.
Yeah, I mean, I quite like El Salvador. I mean, they didn't literally execute everybody, but they did the next best thing.
Yeah, just locked them all up.
Put them in a cell forever.
Well, they found everybody that had the "I am a criminal" tattoos on.
Yes. Yeah.
I am literally a rapist murderer tattooed on them, and then they put them in prison. To which, for some
The
reason,
rate plummeted for some reason.
yeah, to which, for some reason, all of the left started weeping.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was quite soft too. I would have gone further, but fair enough. As long as the problem's solved.
And oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. They pressed the fix everything button and it fixed everything. El Salvador went from the most obscenely sort of crime-ridden environment
It's the most dangerous place on earth
to one of the safest.
Over 100 homicides per 100,000 people in, 2015.
Yeah, that's mad, isn't it?
It's
just mad.
You don't have a country. No. You don't have a country when that's happened. You have an open Fortnite server, and that's what you have.
Yeah, it's a PvP server.
Yeah.
Right, because there were stories of them just kicking around heads in the street and stuff like that. You're like, oh my god!
Oh, it's terrifying stuff. It's like if one of the gang members decided they like the look of your daughter or girlfriend, they just take them. And then what are you going to do? Yeah. I mean, I suppose the correct answer is try and get her back, but then you will be killed, and then your family won't have a provider.
Yeah. And Nayib Bukele was the one maverick, the only man with the vision to say, let's not do that.
I'm going to press the switch, guys.
Yep. He pressed it. And I remember beforehand, there was these, you get these sort of documentaries and these NGOs and stuff who were basically doing the meme. They were like, it's impossible to fix. Sociologists don't understand why crime is so bad in El Salvador, but we know it's complicated and we know there's no easy fix.
Well, that's something else the Fix Everything switch would actually do as well, which would make a lot of NGO employees unemployed and probably put them in prison as well, to be honest, for facilitating all of this.
So all the lefty lawyers and the judges, they'd be out of work. Their jobs would evaporate if you just press the Fix Everything switch.
It would.
You get rid of all the legislation that allows them to keep murderers and rapists in the country, and then the whole thing just evaporates.
One easy button. The next thing I've got is I've decided to go for energy on this one. So for me, the next thing it does is we just start building nuclear power stations.
Yep. Or use coal until the nuclear is online.
Yes. And gas.
Yeah.
The shale.
So that's another great point. The energy prices go down by a lot. So that's prosperity for Britain. So if you're a business, you need cheap energy costs. There's no prosperity without cheap energy. So suddenly the British economy starts rocketing up. And I imagine you could get rid of a bunch of regulations with it as well. So it's just like, okay, well, we could all get richer. Like I said, the GDP will go up.
Any other suggestions, or you'll do my third? My third was actually the way you started, which would be migration.
Yeah, and then the world just gets a lot better and more pleasant. Yes.
The weather probably gets better.
Yeah, the weather probably.
If we start pumping more and more coal into the sky, and we actually cause climate change, the weather will get warmer.
I don't know. We've got to be against that on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
And just following the logic through. Oh, you just given a YouTube. I was going to say. Okay, how can I say it without adopt the Saudi Arabian approach to border security?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a respectable way of doing things.
Because actually, you can just
you can fix it.
Yes,
you can just make things happen.
Why can't we just have the Navy in the English Channel, who sort of arrive with their foghorns,
defending the coastline,
get out the loudhailer, and say turn around and go back again, fire a warning shot, and then if they don't, well, sink them then.
Yeah, just or else.
Yes. How many boats do you think you'd actually need to sink?
Not many.
Yes.
I mean, it's literally going to be like with the Somali pirates. You sink one or two of their boats, and that's it. They never come again.
Yes. It's done. High bar on people coming in. So basically get rid of the low skill stuff.
Yep.
Do all of that.
All the dependents. Nope, you can stay in your own countries and be dependents there.
Button is firmly pressed.
Imagine how much money the taxpayer is going to save on the benefit culture alone.
Yes.
When we just don't allow foreigners to claim benefits. Again, just there's one button that fixes everything about this country. Your taxes plummet.
We were having this conversation in the office yesterday. I mean, my thinking would be, if you don't have at least one British grandparent, native British grandparent, you're not getting welfare.
Yeah.
Right. And that, I think, is actually genuinely a sensible, middle-of-the-road type policy. Mm-hmm. And I even know, a handful of immigrants, and they wouldn't have a problem with that because they're like, well, I've got a job, yeah. And you could even make it, if you rack up 25 years of national insurance contributions, okay, you can get a pension then, but you need to have done something. But it would cut out basically millions of them.
Yep. And so millions of people just go home on their own accord. Oh, I can't just suckle at the teat of the British taxpayer anymore. I'm not going to stay here then. And so we have to pay out hardly any money. Everything gets cheaper. You get paid more. Suddenly it looks like the country has a future.
Number 4, I thought scrap welfare, restore workhouses.
I think that goes.
Turn to Dickens.
Yes.
I think that goes a bit beyond just pressing the button there, though.
Really?
Yeah, because you've got to innovate a whole slew of new things now.
I think I suppose if you're going to say that we can't just innovate things, there needs to be an anti-progressive education curriculum.
Sure.
Would that be part of the fix everything button? Just remove all of
No, that's a long-term thing, right?
Yeah.
These are long-term solutions. But like, if you just press the fix everything button, then instantly stuff would just change. I mean, don't get me wrong, we'd want to go further and do a lot of other things. But I think just what we've listed so far would be just such a massive improvement to the country.
Yes.
Like, you wouldn't notice the country wouldn't be falling apart.
It would obviously scrap any and all subsidies towards foreigners starting businesses. And the BBC did that report on the mini-marts, the foreign mini-marts all being fronts for illegal activity, which we already knew. So where do they get the money for that? Well, part of it is council subsidies. That just gets thrown out immediately.
And deported the people who are committing the crimes because they've committed a crime, therefore they get deported. Everything's fixed easily.
I don't think building a few workhouses is that difficult.
I'm not saying it's that difficult. What I'm saying is it's a bit outside of the scope of just pressing the button.
Well, okay. So fine.
So this is a purely negative. We get rid of things.
Yeah, we just stop doing things that we're doing.
Right.
You could just press that button.
True, it takes effort to do everything that's destroying.
Well, it's a lot of work.
You can turn the welfare button off, surely.
But that's exactly my point. That's the thing. We can just turn that off, don't allow new people, don't allow dependents in, don't allow this, don't allow that, and suddenly everything gets better.
You might push back on my 5th one then, which was flat taxes.
I mean, I'm happy to have conversations about it. Like, I just want taxes reduced. Generally,
yes. I mean, I'll give
to be fair, as part of this, when we already said get rid of net zero, we did say use coal and nuclear power. So that is also thinking into the future.
Sure.
I mean, I'll give you an example. When I was working in finance, we had one of our lawyers. He did the tax, and I went into his office, which is a fair size office, and he's got these bookshelves, and I noticed that they're all in the same format, and I said to him, what are all these books? He said, it's one book. It's just multiple different. That's the tax law.
Jesus.
And I was like, really? All of that? And he says, oh no, it's worse than that. And he pointed over there, and there were these stacks of cardboard boxes,
also full of tax law.
Yes. And he wasn't duplicating. That was, and just those ones in the boxes are the ones that he didn't use often enough to take them out the box. That is the current tax law situation.
I've got a new tax law that could help all of our problems, or at least many of the problems, which is no tax for English, 100% tax for foreigners.
Seriously though, like I hate paying tax, and it's obviously Byzantine in its application. So just streamlining it would be way easier.
We need the single-page tax law.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Ron Paul tax law.
And if we didn't have to pay unbelievable amounts of money to foreigners and all these other things, then we could afford it.
Yeah, pick a number, whatever it is, 20%.
Yeah.
That's how much you pay, and then scrap all the rest of it. So
we scrap VAT.
Yeah.
On everything. I hate it.
I mean, you could say, okay, we're going to have a VAT rate of 20% and income tax and a capital gains rate of 20% or whatever, but just keep it nice and simple. As long as it fits on one page, you scrap all of the subsidies. Nobody needs an accountant anymore. So, for example, I mean, I've got a small business which I invoice this place for. I need an accountant. I can't function without it. Everybody does.
Imagine a world where you didn't need all of this.
Yes.
And the thing is, if it was just a predictable 20%, at least I know what's happening.
Yes.
I might not be happy with it, but at least I know.
It's still far too high for me.
Well, I agree, but
What was it the Americans were revolting over? Slightly less.
3% on tea.
Yeah, 2%
all right. 2.5% tax. There you go.
Yes, that's fair enough. Number 6. I did a Brokenomics on this just the other week. It's the last one that came out. this whole democracy thing, I'm going a bit sour on it. So I looked at some options, and ultimately what I came to was actually probably democracy can work, but the franchise needs to get considerably restricted.
Net taxpayers.
Well, I was thinking I quite like the was it the Starship Troopers, the distinction between a citizen and a civilian, and you earn your citizen status and then you can vote. So I quite like that.
I think
does this immediately mean like conscription or
no? I think
it's an option.
You could adapt it to a modern environment. So you'd say, look, if you've had 10 years net tax contributions, you get the franchise, you get to vote. And so anyone is just sat there going, well, yeah, I've paid net taxes for 10 years. Great, I get to vote. And those people are like, oh, I don't, because I'm a fucking parasite. Oh, boo-hoo. Well, too bad. Parasite.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking something like a few years service. It doesn't necessarily have to be military. I mean, it could be
sure, but
a whole bunch of different functions.
You could look at it just through tax contributions, and then you've got all the information you need. It's all there, and you could just do it tomorrow.
Yes. The other one I should raise, and might get a mild...
Just on this one as well. Keir Starmer, remember, he's like, oh, I'm going to lower the voting age to 16. It's like, right, so we're allowed to mess around.
Yes.
With who has the franchise. We're allowed to do that.
So we can just take it away from women if we want to.
So we can just, when we get the base right-wing government,
Yes.
it's like, oh, right, no, if you've ever claimed benefits, you're never voting.
Yes.
We could do that if we wanted, because Keir Starmer can just lower it to 16-year-olds arbitrarily, right? So this is totally fine.
Should women vote?
Well,
Is that on the button?
I mean, to be fair, I think it's more palatable to people if it's on actual service, as in if a woman has worked for 50 years and paid lots of tax, I think she should, because she's worked and paid net tax. But
English women, I don't mind voting. I think the whole idea of the the evil white woman voting for everything progressive is a bit overblown.
It is a bit.
Government.
There is another truth.
And it isn't. It's basically just a way to demonise white women, which I don't like.
But government employees shouldn't be able to vote. I think if you work for the government, if you are employed by the state, you shouldn't be allowed to vote.
Well, that was my seventh idea, and I think possibly the best one, which is sort of reinvigorate a culture of national service. So rather than having a huge state, we got that flat tax. What if we said, okay, well, it's 30% if you contribute, and it's 20% if you give a day a week to the state in some way or other, and that could be military reserves, it could be as a deputy for the police, it could be as a teacher. So for example, we got Bo here, he could have a lower tax rate if he spent a day a week teaching at the local school. You could be teaching philosophy. The amount of low grade public sector volume that could be removed and simply replaced with people doing a contribution and having a positive feedback to the system that they're in.
I mean, this is an
what you're
interesting
also
idea.
suggesting is contributing back to your local community as
Yes.
well. That builds relationships.
Have a community back.
Yeah, this is a great idea, but I think it's a bit beyond the scope of the fix it everything easily switch.
Right. Okay. Well, I was padding it out because the first three were so strong that I don't.
There wasn't really much discussion to be had on them. Well, obviously.
Yes. All right. So we agreed. We should actually just press the button.
I mean, there's going to be a lot of objections. It's quite terrifying that you'd even think about it, but I am thinking about it. Yeah.
As with everything, my biggest question with this is, what does the CIA think?
Yes. Yes, quite possibly.
Because sadly, they're going to be the ones who have a big disagreement with the fix everything button, because the CIA likes breaking things.
Well, that was wildly uncontroversial. We're going to press the button.
Okay.
Let's have a look at the video comments then.
Dreadnought Logan, by the way, says, I've been watching the rest of politics. I've never seen such a group of people more delusional with the worst advice. Yeah, I mean, this is a perennial thing that Rory Stewart... What's the Kramer, the financial analyst? Where everything...
Jim Cramer?
Jim Cramer, yeah. Rory Stewart has become a kind of political Jim Cramer, where it's just... whatever the opposite of what he predicted is coming to pass.
Oh yes, I thought I'd heard that Kramer name. They've got the inverse Kramer, which does better than Pelosi.
Yes,
incredible. And honestly, if you look at Rory Stewart's predictions for the last 3 years, everything was the opposite of what he predicted. So if you just had been, no, Trump's going to win, this is going to happen, blah, blah, there'll be a peace settlement in the Middle East, Gaza will sign up to this thing. Like, Royce just said, no, none of that's going to happen. All of it happened. It's like, that's incredible. It's genuinely incredible how one man can be so wrong, but it's because of the echo chamber that they find themselves in.
If you would like to watch the full uncut version that is also uncensored, head on over to lotuseaters.com to find out more.